Shalom, I'm Rabbi Yosef, and I need to tell you something that might sound impossible. The next 7 minutes after you open your eyes tomorrow morning will determine whether you spend the rest of your day chasing money or attracting it. Not 7 hours, 7 minutes. I know what you're thinking. How can 7 minutes change anything? You've been working hard for years. You've been praying. You've been trying. And still, the bills pile up. The opportunities slip away. The breakthrough never comes. Let me ask you something. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up? Do you reach for your phone, check your messages, scroll through news, look at what everyone else is doing? If you do, you've already lost the day before it even started. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this because I was exactly like you. I would wake up anxious, grab my phone, see problems, feel behind, start the day already defeated. And then I wondered why money was always tight, why opportunities passed me by, why I worked so hard but got so little back. Here's what I discovered, and it changed everything. There is a window, a small, sacred window that opens the moment you wake up. Your mind is clear. Your soul is fresh. Your spirit hasn't been touched yet by the chaos of the world. In that window you have access to something most people waste without even knowing it exists. The ancient sages called it the gate of morning favor, the moment when heaven is closest to earth, the moment when what you plant grows fastest. But here's the problem. Most people slam that gate shut the second they wake up. They don't know it's there. They don't know they're standing at a door that could change their financial reality. They walk right past it every single morning and wonder why nothing ever changes. You are not lazy. You are not unlucky. You are not being punished. You simply don't know that the first 7 minutes of your day are a spiritual transaction. And right. Now you're making the wrong transaction. Let me explain what I mean. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, you're telling the universe, I am not in control. The world controls me. I react. I don't create. When you wake up and immediately think about problems, you're telling your own soul, I am broken, I am lacking, I need to fix myself. When you wake up and immediately compare yourself to others, you're telling heaven, I don't trust you. I trust what I see. And what I see is that I'm behind. These are not just thoughts, these are agreements, spiritual contracts, and you're signing them every morning without reading the terms. Now, there is a different kind of morning, a different kind of agreement. There are people right now waking up in a completely different way, and their days unfold differently. Their businesses grow differently. Their money flows differently, not because they work harder, not because they're smarter, not because they were born lucky, but because they understand the technology of the morning. And when I say technology, I don't mean something mystical or complicated. I mean something structured, repeatable, precise, like a recipe. You follow the steps, you get the result. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This is not about thinking positive thoughts and hoping money appears. This is not about vision boards or affirmations you don't believe. This is about positioning yourself, spiritually and mentally, in the exact place where abundance can reach you. Think of it like this. If you want to catch fish, you don't stand in the desert and hope they jump into your hands. You go to the water. You use the right bait. You position yourself where the fish are. The same is true for prosperity. There is a place spiritually where prosperity flows, and there is a time, every single day, when you can step into that place. That time is the first 7 minutes after you wake up. Now, before I show you exactly what to do, in those 7 minutes, I need to tell you why this works, because if you don't understand the why, you won't have the discipline to do the how. Here's the truth that most people don't realize. When you sleep, your soul rests, your mind resets. All the noise, all the doubt, all the fear from yesterday gets cleared out. You wake up in a state of pure potential. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that the best ideas come to you in the morning? Have you ever noticed that you feel more hopeful when you first wake up before the day starts weighing you down? That's not random. That's your soul in its natural state. Clean, open, ready to receive. But here's what happens to most people. They take that clean slate and immediately cover it with garbage. Bad news, other people's drama, their own worries. It's like taking a blank canvas and throwing mud on it before you even pick up a brush. The sages teach that the morning is when heaven gives you a gift, a fresh portion of life, a new beginning. And the question is, what do you do with that gift? Do you waste it or do you use it? Now, I'm going to share with you the exact 7-minute protocol that I teach to my students, the same protocol that turned around my own financial life when I was drowning in debt and couldn't see a way out. The same protocol that has helped men and women from different countries, different backgrounds, different situations, step into a flow of prosperity they didn't think was possible. But before, I need you to make a decision. Are you willing to wake up 7 minutes earlier? Not an hour, not 30 minutes, 7 minutes. If you can't commit to 7 minutes, then nothing I teach you will help, because prosperity isn't about what you know, it's about what you do. And what you do in the first 7 minutes of your day will determine what happens in the next 24 hours. So if you're ready, if you're serious, I want you to do something right now. Comment below and write these 3 words. I choose prosperity, not because I need to hear it, because you need to declare it out loud, to yourself, to heaven, to the universe. When you declare something, you activate it, and I want you to activate this before we go any further. Also, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel, because what I'm about to teach you is just the beginning. There is so much more, and I don't want you to miss it. Now, let me tell you a story, a true story, about a man who was exactly where you might be right now. His name doesn't matter. His profession doesn't matter. What matters is that he was stuck, completely stuck. He had a business that was barely surviving. He had bills he couldn't pay. He had a family depending on him. And every morning he woke up with a knot in his stomach. He would check his bank account first thing. And every day it was the same, not enough. He prayed, he worked, he hustled, but nothing changed. One day, someone told him about this protocol, this 7-minute morning practice. And at first he didn't believe it. He thought it was too simple, too small. How could 7 minutes change anything? But he was desperate, so he tried it. The very first morning, something shifted. Not in his bank account, not in his business, but in him. He woke up and instead of grabbing his phone, he followed the steps I'm about to teach you. And for the first time in months, he felt peace. He felt clarity. He felt like he was in control of his own mind. That same day, a client he hadn't heard from in 6 months called him out of nowhere and gave him a contract that saved his entire business. Coincidence? Maybe. But it kept happening. Every time he did the protocol, something would shift. An opportunity, a connection, a door opening. Within 3 months, his business doubled. Within 6 months, he paid off all his debt. And within a year, he was teaching other people how to do the same thing. This is not magic. This is alignment. When you align yourself with the flow of abundance in the morning, the rest of your day aligns with you. Now you might be thinking, Rabbi Yosef, I've tried morning routines before. They don't work for me. And I believe you, because most morning routines are built backwards. They're built on what you want to accomplish, what you need to do, how productive you need to be. This protocol is different. It's not about accomplishment. It's about reception. You're not trying to force anything. You're opening yourself to receive what's already waiting for you. Big difference. And here's the part that most people miss. The reason you've been struggling financially isn't because you're not working hard enough. It's because you're not positioned correctly. You're working in the wrong spiritual posture. You're working from lack instead of working from fullness. And the morning is where you change that posture. The morning is where you reset your frequency. The morning is where you step out of survival mode and into creation mode. So let me ask you again, are you ready? Because what I'm about to teach you in the next part of this video is the exact step-by-step protocol. Not theory, not philosophy. Actual steps, actual words, actual practices. And if you follow them with precision, your mornings will never be the same. And neither will your bank account. All right? You're still here. That tells me something important. It tells me you're serious. And I don't take that lightly. So let me go deeper. Let me show you exactly why the first 7 minutes of your day have more power than the next 17 hours combined. Here's what most people don't understand about the mind. Your brain wakes up in what scientists call a theta state. It's the same state you're in right before you fall asleep. Your conscious mind is quiet. Your subconscious mind is wide open. In this state, whatever you feed your mind goes straight in. No filters, no resistance, no doubt. This is why children learn so fast, because they're in theta most of the time. Their minds are like sponges. Everything goes in, and every single morning for about 7 to 10 minutes, you return to that state You become like a child again, open, receptive, programmable. Now, here's the question. What are you programming? If the first thing you do is check your phone and see bad news, you're programming fear. If the first thing you do is think about your problems, you're programming lack. If the first thing you do is compare yourself to others, you're programming inadequacy. And then you spend the rest of the day trying to overcome the program you installed in the first 7 minutes. It's like trying to run a computer with a virus. You can work as hard as you want, but the system is corrupted from the start. But what if you could program something different? What if you could install gratitude instead of fear, abundance instead of lack, purpose instead of confusion? That's exactly what this protocol does. Now, before I break down the 7 minutes step by step, I need to tell you my own story, because I don't teach this from theory. I teach it from experience, from desperation, from a moment in my life when I had no other choice. Several years ago, I was in trouble, real trouble. I had made a financial decision that I thought was wise. I had invested money I didn't have into a project that I believed would pay off, and it didn't. The debt came due, and I didn't have it. I remember the morning I woke up knowing I had 7 days to come up with money I didn't have. 7 days before everything fell apart. My reputation, my family's security, everything. I woke up that morning, and my first instinct was panic, pure panic. I reached for my phone to check my account, hoping somehow a miracle had happened overnight. But then I stopped. I remembered something my teacher had told me years before. He said, "Yosef, the morning is not for checking what you have. The morning is for declaring what you're open to receive." So instead of checking my phone, I did something different. I sat up in bed, I closed my eyes, and I said one simple sentence out loud. I am grateful for the air in my lungs and the life in my body. Everything else is extra. Now, you might think that sounds ridiculous when you're facing financial collapse, and maybe it is ridiculous. But in that moment, something shifted in me. I realized that I was still alive. I still had my mind. I still had my hands. I still had my ability to think, to create, to solve problems. The money problem was real, but it wasn't the only reality, and by starting my day with gratitude for what was already working, I stepped out of panic and into clarity. Then I did the rest of the protocol, the 7 minutes, every step, with precision, with intention. And I'm not going to tell you that money appeared out of nowhere. That's not how this works. But what did happen was this. Later that same day, I received a phone call from someone I hadn't spoken to in over a year. He was calling to ask for my advice on a project. We talked for 20 minutes, and at the end of the conversation he said, "You know what? I want to hire you for this. How much would you charge?" I gave him a number, and he said yes, right there on the phone. The payment came through 3 days later, and it was exactly, to the dollar, what I needed to cover the debt. Now, was that a miracle? Was that coincidence? Was that just good timing? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. What I know is this. When I changed my morning, my day changed. When I changed my posture from panic to gratitude, the universe responded. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. Not just for me, for hundreds of people who have learned this protocol and applied it. So let me give you the first part of the 7-minute practice. The foundation, the part that everything else is built on. Gratitude before movement. Before you open your eyes. Before you check your phone. Before you even sit up in bed, you say one sentence out loud. It can be any sentence as long as it's true gratitude for something that's already real. Not gratitude for what you want, gratitude for what you have. For example, I am grateful that I woke up today. Or, I am grateful for the bed I'm lying in. Or, I am grateful that my heart is beating without me having to think about it. Simple, true, real. Now, why does this matter? Why start with gratitude? Because gratitude is the only emotion that cannot coexist with fear. You cannot be truly grateful and truly afraid at the same time. It's neurologically impossible. When you activate gratitude first, you shut down the fear center of your brain. You shut down the panic. You shut down the scarcity mindset. And you open up the part of your brain that sees opportunity, that sees solutions, that sees abundance. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. Gratitude literally rewires your brain. But here's the key. You have to say it out loud, not just think it. Say it. Because when you speak, you activate your body, you engage your breath, you make it physical. Thoughts can lie. Words create reality. So, minute 1. Gratitude before movement, out loud. Now you open your eyes, you sit up, and you take one deep breath. And as you breathe in, you say silently in your mind, I am here. As you breathe out, you say, I am present. That's it. One breath, 2 sentences. This might sound too simple to matter, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do, because most people wake up and immediately leave themselves. They're already in the future, worrying about what needs to happen, or they're in the past, regretting what didn't happen. But prosperity doesn't exist in the future or the past. It exists right now, in this moment, where you actually are. When you say, I am here and I am present, you're anchoring yourself in reality. You're telling your nervous system, I am not scattered, I am not fragmented, I am whole, right here, right now. And from that place of wholeness, you can actually create, you can actually receive. Now, still sitting on the edge of your bed, you ask yourself one question, and you wait for an answer. The question is this: what is one thing I can do today that would make this day meaningful? Not successful, not productive, meaningful. Because success is about results. Meaning is about purpose. And when you live with purpose, success follows. Now here's what's important. You don't force the answer. You don't think really hard and try to figure it out. You just ask the question and you wait, silently, for 5, 10, 15 seconds. And something will come. A thought, an image, a feeling, a word. It might be something big like, call that person I've been avoiding. Or it might be something small like, drink water before coffee. Whatever comes, you accept it. You don't judge it. You don't question it. You trust it. And then you write it down. One sentence on your phone on a piece of paper doesn't matter, just write it. Why? Because when you write it, you make a contract with yourself. You're saying, this matters. I'm going to honor this. And here's what I've discovered. When you honor that one meaningful thing, the rest of your day organizes itself around it. Doors open, people show up, money flows, not because you forced it, because you aligned yourself with what actually matters. So far, we're 3 minutes in. Gratitude. Presence. Meaning. Already you're in a completely different state than if you had grabbed your phone and started scrolling. Now let me tell you about someone who applied just these first 3 minutes and saw her entire business change. Her name is Sarah. She runs a small online business selling handmade products. For 2 years she was barely breaking even, working 12-hour days, stressed, exhausted, ready to quit. She heard about this protocol and decided to try it. Just the first 3 minutes. That's all she committed to. The first morning she woke up and said out loud, I am grateful that my hands still work. Then she breathed and said, I am here. I am present. Then she asked, what would make today meaningful? The answer that came was surprising. It wasn't post on social media or work on inventory. It was send a thank you note to your first customer. She thought that was random, but she did it anyway. She found her first customer's email and wrote a simple, heartfelt thank you note. That customer responded immediately and said, this is so kind. Actually, I've been meaning to place another order, and I want to refer you to my sister who's getting married. That one email led to 3 orders. Those 3 orders led to referrals. Those referrals led to Sarah's best month ever. All because she started her day differently. All because she asked one question and trusted the answer. Now, I'm not saying every day will be like that. I'm not saying you'll get rich from one email. But I am saying this. When you start your morning with intention, your day has direction. And direction is more valuable than speed. You can run fast in the wrong direction and get nowhere. Or you can walk slowly in the right direction and arrive exactly where you need to be. The morning protocol gives you direction. Now, we're only halfway through the 7 minutes, and I haven't even told you the most powerful part yet, the part that directly opens the channel for money, opportunities, and breakthroughs. That's what I'm going to reveal right now. But before we go there, I need you to understand something. This only works if you actually do it, not if you think about it, not if you agree with it, if you do it. So here's what I want you to commit to right now. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, you're going to practice the first 3 minutes. Gratitude before movement, recognition of presence, the question. That's it. 3 minutes. You can do that. And if you do, come back and comment below, I did the 3 minutes, because I want to know. I want to celebrate with you, and I want to hear what shifts for you. Now, let me give you the rest of the protocol. The part that turns intention into action. The part that opens the door for money to find you. You're still sitting, eyes open, mind clear. Now you're going to make a declaration. Not a request, not a wish. A declaration. Here's the difference. A request says, I hope this happens. A declaration says, this is already true, I'm just aligning with it. So you say out loud in your own words, something like this. I am a channel for abundance. Money flows to me easily. Opportunities find me. I am open to receive. Or, I am worthy of prosperity. I am ready for breakthrough. I trust the process. You don't have to use my words. Use words that feel true to you, but they must be in present tense, not future. Present. I am. Not I will be. Because your subconscious mind doesn't understand future tense. It only understands now. When you declare something in the present tense, your mind starts looking for evidence that it's already true. And guess what? It finds it. You start noticing opportunities you were blind to before. You start seeing connections you didn't see. You start acting like someone who already has what they're declaring. And when you act like it, you become it. Now, some people struggle with this. They say, Rabbi Yosef, I can't declare I'm abundant when I'm broke. That feels like lying. I understand, but here's what you need to know. You're not lying. You're choosing which truth to focus on. Right now you have lack. That's one truth. But you also have air in your lungs, a mind that thinks, hands that work, and infinite potential. That's another truth. Which truth are you going to build your day on? The declaration is not about denying reality. It's about choosing which reality you're going to empower. Now, close your eyes again, and for 60 seconds, see yourself at the end of today. Not at the end of the year, not when you're rich, at the end of today. See yourself lying in bed tonight, peaceful, satisfied, knowing that today mattered. See yourself smiling because something good happened. See yourself feeling lighter, because a burden lifted. You don't need to know what that good thing is. You don't need to figure it out. Just see yourself feeling it. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the peace. This is not daydreaming. This is pre-paving. You're creating an energetic blueprint for your day, and your day will try to match that blueprint. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds like manifestation nonsense. And I get it. There's a lot of nonsense out there. But this is different. This is not about pretending problems don't exist. This is about training your mind to look for solutions instead of drowning in problems. When you visualize peace at the end of the day, your mind starts asking, what would I need to do today to feel that peace? And then it guides you toward those actions. It's not magic, it's focus. Open your eyes, stand up. Now, you're going to give something. Right now, before you do anything else. It can be money. It can be a message of encouragement to someone. It can be a silent prayer for someone who's struggling. But it has to be something you give away. Something that costs you, even if it's just 60 seconds of your time. Why? Because giving breaks the spell of scarcity. When you wake up focused on what you lack, you contract, you close, you hoard. But when you give something, even something small, you expand. You open, you declare, I have enough to share. And the universe responds to that declaration. I've seen people give $5 to charity in the morning and receive $500 by the evening. Not because giving is a transaction, but because giving changes your posture. When you give, you stop being a beggar and become a benefactor. And benefactors attract abundance. So give something, anything, just give. Final minute, you're standing, you've given. Now you anchor everything. Place your hand on your heart. Take one deep breath and say, today is a gift. I will not waste it. I will honor it. That's it. You're not making a to-do list. You're not planning every detail. You're simply making a commitment to show up fully for whatever this day brings. And then you go. You start your day. But here's what you'll notice. You'll notice that you're calmer. You'll notice that you respond differently to stress. You'll notice that opportunities appear that weren't there yesterday. Because you're not the same person who went to sleep last night. You're someone who started the day with intention, with gratitude, with purpose. And that person attracts different results. Now, let me tell you about someone who applied all 7 minutes and watched his entire financial situation reverse. His name is Marcus. He was a consultant. Smart guy, hardworking. But his business was dying. Clients were leaving, new clients weren't coming. He was 3 months away from shutting down. He learned this protocol, and he committed to it. every single morning. No excuses. First week, nothing changed. He almost quit, but he kept going. Second week, he got a call from an old colleague, just checking in. They talked. The colleague mentioned a project. Marcus offered to help. The colleague said yes. That project paid Marcus more in 1 month than he had made in the previous 3 months combined. But here's the interesting part. Marcus told me later, the money was great, but what really changed was me. I stopped waking up afraid. I stopped checking my bank account first thing. I stopped feeling like a victim. And when he stopped feeling like a victim, he started acting like a creator. And creators don't chase money. They attract it. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This protocol is not a magic spell. It will not make money appear out of thin air. What it will do is position you. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It will put you in the right state to see opportunities, to take action, to trust yourself. And when you're in that state, things happen. Doors open, people call, ideas come. Not because the universe is rewarding you, but because you're finally awake enough to see what was always there. So here's what I want you to do. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 7 minutes earlier than usual. Just 7 minutes and follow the protocol, all 7 minutes in order. 1, gratitude before movement. 2, recognition of presence. 3, the question. 4, the declaration. 5, the visualization. 6, the offering. 7, the anchor. Do it for 1 week, just 7 days. And watch what happens. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Don't try to figure out if it's working. Just do it. And at the end of the week, ask yourself, am I different? Is my day different? Is my mind different? I promise. The answer will be yes. Now you might be wondering, what if I miss a day? What if I forget? What if I mess it up? Then you start again the next day. This is not about perfection. This is about practice. Every morning is a new chance. Every morning is a fresh beginning. You can't fail at this. You can only choose not to try. And here's the final thing I want you to understand. The reason most people stay broke is not because they don't work hard. It's because they work from the wrong place. They work from fear, from panic, from desperation. And work that comes from fear creates more fear. Work that comes from panic creates more panic. But work that comes from gratitude, from presence, from purpose, that work creates abundance. The morning protocol doesn't change your circumstances overnight. It changes you. And when you change, your circumstances have no choice but to follow. So if you're serious about this, if you're ready to stop struggling and start flowing, then commit right now. Comment below, I commit to 7 minutes. Say it out loud. Make it real, because the moment you commit, you've already started changing. And if you want to go deeper, if you want more teachings like this, subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to keep showing you the ancient wisdom that modern people desperately need. Wisdom that's not complicated. Wisdom that's not religious. Wisdom that simply works. Now, before I go, let me leave you with one final thought. You were not created to struggle. You were not created to barely survive. You were not created to live in constant anxiety about money. You were created to flourish, to expand, to give, to build, to create. But flourishing starts in the morning. It starts in those first 7 minutes when your mind is clean and your spirit is open. Don't waste that time. Don't give it to your phone. Don't give it to the news. Don't give it to worry. Give it to yourself. Give it to your purpose. Give it to the vision of who you're becoming. And watch how fast your life transforms. Tomorrow morning you have a choice. You can wake up the way you always have, or you can wake up differently. I've given you the map. Now you have to walk the path. Shalom, my friend. Until next time.